Here are 4 ways that people can hate you for the way that you speak. Language is critical for communication. It's not the only component, but it's a huge one. People judge you almost immediately from your physical appearances and movements. But they also judge you very quickly just based on a few things that you say. Here are 4 ways that people can easily hate you because of the way you speak. The first way people can hate you is if you're always talking about yourself. If you've ever spoken to somebody who's always talking about themselves, it comes across as very selfish. You don't get a chance to tell them what you think or how you experience things. It's always a one-sided conversation, and nobody likes a one-sided conversation. One of the biggest problems with selfish conversation is that it doesn't give the other person a chance to express how they feel, and it devalues their opinion and experience of it. The way you get around this is you limit your use of the word I as much as possible. In addition, instead of saying I saw it or I know I've seen it before, you want to talk about the subject itself. It doesn't devalue their opinion or their experience. It also doesn't make them feel bad for sending you something or showing you something. The second way people can hate when you talk is when you command them. A lot of us go to other people for advice, and we want their opinion or we want to share experiences with them. But when they turn the conversation into something about them being the authority and command people, then it becomes very dictative. If you're sharing a vulnerability with somebody and they tell you that you should do something or you have to act a certain way, it makes it come across as if they're commanding you. People don't like to be commanded. I know I hate it. You need to do this. You have to do that. You need to be a better person. You have to step up. If I were to tell you that, how would it come across to you? You hate my ass. That's how it feels when you command somebody, regardless of what position you're in. If you're a supervisor, it's better to request someone to do something than it is to tell them and command them. This comes up often in the male-female dynamic. Females would go to the male to listen to them. They want to share their experience and want somebody to listen. But instead, the males would want to fix the situation. And in doing so, they would have to command. They say things like, you need to do this or you should do that. The females didn't want advice. They just wanted somebody to listen. So the situation worsens because the males don't provide a listening ear, but instead provide commanding tones. The third way of speaking that can make people hate you is if you start a sentence with a negative. If you start a sentence with no, well, but, you've already argued with them even though you haven't even finished your sentence. It doesn't even matter if you're correct. All the person hears is you're arguing with them. And the way to fix this is to ask people more questions. So if someone states something that sounds incorrect, ask them more follow-up questions to clarify their position. And if not, have them consider the alternative. It's always better to have people come up with their own conclusions because they're more willing to believe it than if you tell them the conclusion. For example, if someone says, I think cats have 3 legs, and you correct them by saying, no, cats have 4, they're going to take it as you arguing with them, even though you're correct. So instead, you want to take a questioning approach, which is similar to the Socratic method. Are they sure cats have 3 legs? When was the last time they saw a cat with 3 legs? Is it all cats that have 3 legs? This line of questioning instead opens up your curiosity about their beliefs and maybe opens them up to the possibility that they could be wrong. And the most complicated of all the ways you speak is the tonality. Tonalities have a lot of subtleties to them. It could range from being formal, casual, respectful, mean, enthusiastic, or frank. But my breakdown of tonality is this. Is there positive, negative, or neutral intent behind the comment? In my breakdown of tonality, I believe that intent is a major factor in it. If you have positive intent, but you use very negative words, you're just joking with somebody because they understand your intention is positive. For example, if your friend tells you something and they're correct, you smile, laugh, and tell them you hate them. It's positive intention with negative words. But the intention is positive, so it overrides the words. If you have a neutral intent, then it's typically used for professional or business environments. But the worst of them is negative intent. You could have positive words, but still have negative intent. And that comes across as sarcasm.
Oh, in class, whoever parked in my space, thank you. I enjoyed the walk.
You could give advice that's 100% correct, but if you give it with a negative tone, people aren't going to accept it. You could even provide compliments. But if you have neediness and validation and want them to reply to you, it comes across as a negating response. You've negated the compliment you gave away. If you told somebody their dress was pretty and you're able to walk away from that without getting validation back, that's a positive experience. But if you told somebody their dress is pretty and you wait for them to say thank you, then it negates that compliment. For example, if you told someone you like their shirt, you infer that from that tone, you're able to walk away from that conversation without accepting validation. You gave the compliment willingly. But instead, if you said, I like your shirt, the tone infers that you're waiting for them to validate you by saying thank you. And that negates the compliment. What do you guys think? Do you know somebody who uses these tones and you do not like them? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, guys, feel free, feel happy.